what did we do today? We took my voice, and how many different ways did we manipulate it? How many different ways did we make a banana head jump around? You know, there's no background to this. It's just transparent nothing. We could just take the one audio source, and hell, I'll prove it to you. All right. So yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. Back to our banana man. I need to figure out a new way to do this. But while I'm kind of considering that, I think for sticking with me through this video, I'm going to give you one of my other every single project handy tools, which I call global resolution. If you plug something into it, it gives you the picture and whatever the resolution is. And if you were to put something else into it, I don't know, is all this stuff the same exact resolution? No, this one is very small. You'll see, it gives you a quick grab to set things throughout your network that are all the same. So you can change the source and it doesn't break how things look down the line. And just because I have this in my project doesn't mean my final output is gonna be this. Maybe I'm making something more complicated than I thought, and I want to dumb it down to see if my process runs smoothly. It's like, oh, if I can get my frame rate back up. But a lot of times you'll find yourself referencing, like in the comment page on these, you know, let's change this to that. And so now I've got a smaller resolution, and I do love lo-fi, so there's our banana again, and we can change this to custom resolution. That's almost the custom resolution we're looking for, but I've got size X. We can reference that there. Size Y, reference that here, and now this is also the same as that. And there's a fit top, which the whole purpose of this is to kind of scale and fit things within a set resolution. So this one defaults to custom resolution. And oh yeah, okay, these are not for grabbing, unless you want to move them up and down, obviously. And it won't maybe make sense to you now, but also the aspect ratio, if you use custom aspect ratio of 1:1, there's times where being able to grab, especially when you start doing 3D stuff, if you want to map video to like a 3D object, you know, a lot of times it's a square, it's gonna be 1:1. Well, how do you get it to be the weird aspect ratio of your cinescope film? Well, you can plug that into this and grab the aspect to there, and now it's set to that ratio. And this component doesn't really do much else than that. It's got a constant top that I use to just set a resolution when there's no input source. And anytime you have an input, if you're building nodes, like, it's always good to have some default thing running into them. And this bottom input here gives your network something to run if there's nothing plugged into it. And so that's all that is. If I unplug this, it will set this back to no source. If we go back to our fit, middle mouse click, and you can see size changed to what that is, because we referenced the resolution from this global resolution container that I made. And it's like, you know, I'm sure everyone that gets serious into Touch Designer makes some version of this for themselves, because you start saving minutes and then hours and potentially days to spend, depending on how many years you can go without sunlight. To get that real Canadian effect, we need to separate this image in half. And there's a few ways of doing that. And the way that I chose to do it maybe seemed easier at first, but it wasn't as I got further along. These do not need to be connected. Okay, so we have a constant top, and you know what? I do want that to be the same resolution, so I'm just gonna update that real quick. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna want this to be black, I think. Okay, so there's a crop top, which I totally went for today. And as easy as that is to chop into a screen where you want, it also changes the resolution of what's going out, because it's throwing away all those pixels. It's not just filling it up with black space. And I think this might be easier if we're just filling it up with black space. So let's grab my favorite top, which is the composite, and let's grab a black constant here. I think, let's see if we can transform that before it goes in. And we're going to scale it down a fraction of -0.5. And then we're going to plug that into our constant, and oh, that is not what I was looking for. But you know how I can find out, even though I already know? You turn on the preview grid, and this is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, showing you the different things it will spit out depending on your blend mode. Okay, I totally didn't know. Yeah, here we go. Here's one that looks right. Outside. If we flip it, well, then we get the other outside. That's for another project. Okay, there we go. That's the top half of our banana. Let's copy. Let's paste. What? Okay. Now, yes, we want the banana, but we need a different transform that says 0.5. And we'll do this. Ta-da! Now let's grab another composite. And if you ever get into the weeds of my networks, you will see that I do composite, 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 composite all the time. Because usually I'm just trying stuff out, and usually it starts looking cool in ways I could never imagine. So we have this banana here, and you know what? We didn't really leave much room for this banana to like jump upwards or downwards. Let's see if we can get away with just shrinking the whole thing down a little bit. Oh yeah. And we are looking here now. Okay. That's more like it. Looking at my cheat sheet here, and I know that the top of this banana is gonna go flying up, and if I get really excited, it jumps out of the frame. So maybe it's best if, and the bottom isn't really gonna move much, we get that down on the bottom. So we can use some transforms before this thing is all composited, and I think we might need a couple of them. Let's insert transformers. So let's just move this down in pixels on both of them. We're going to get the butt on the ground, and we're going to get the head up to match. And okay, so now let's see if we can do this all in one pivot point. This is This is the next place I totally overcomplicated things. So this pivot is also in, it's gonna naturally pivot from what? Like the center of where it sees this image, which is around here. Okay, I'm figuring this out on the fly. So at 180, we don't want this to be that far over. So what happens if we get this in the middle of the banana? And then, okay, so yeah. So now it does that. What happens when we play with the Y? Anything? I don't know what was that. Oh. Yeah, maybe we want... Okay. Let's change the blending mode here. It's just set to add right now, but we will do over. Let's change our rotate back to 0. Okay. So the first thing to do is to just move it up and down. I think we can do that. I think we can do that with what we learned from the circles. So let's... I mean, we can get back there again if we need to. Bye-bye. Now I've got this null. Let's just... We're hovering between 900 and... Okay. We don't need the speed. Let's see what this null does as is. Just attaching this positive value to... Okay, well, we found this negative 130 to line it back up after we shifted everything down. Now, we could either add another transform in here and just leave that alone so we're not screwing with stuff. Which, for the sake of keeping this easy... Whoa, that flew off. Why is that? Oh, we gotta change the pixels. And that broke our expression, but we can click on this, and now we're talking. But that little bit of volume, my background noise is keeping this thing's... it's keeping it open. I don't like that. So what do we do? Well, what happens if we... Let's try the logic route again. Okay. Well, at least it goes back, but now we lost kind of like, whoa. Kind of lost the humanity of it. It's like, and even though, I mean, we'll watch South Park, and I mean, I'm doing this without even a reference. It's just dumb and easy. But their mouths go up, and they go sideways, and they tilt, and that's it. So yeah, maybe that's right. Well, let's just, we can just bring this multiplier down. Now it's jumping up. And maybe we can even, let's take this from D-Spike just back to Gaussian. Now, okay. Now it's settling back in a little bit faster. And you can play with this if you want to. Or we can bring it down. It's going to be pretty crude for a bit. But there's, if you start thinking about things in averages, let's make another math. let's combine chops as average and plug this in there. Now we're getting 2 of these things. And so now we're taking kind of that robotic element and the filter. This math is too strong. And we start to introduce this problem where, okay, now it's at 0. If I start bringing it up, it'll get a little bit more jumpy, a little bit more responsive in the moment. And maybe we just need to lag that upward value. Okay. But that little bit of background noise is keeping this thing from closing. And that will bug the shit out of me, and it's going to be a little bit trickier to deal with, but let's see if we can't put one thing in here and Kathy, you are not the star of this show. Okay. I always forget how a hold actually works. Okay, well. So what's the way of getting that little bit of hairiness of like my computer noise or, you know, something keeping this from closing? Well, let's try using a constant. I can think of shitty ways of doing this, but this is the right way to do it. Okay, so right now, this logic is off when outside of bounds. Yeah, so when it's off, we want that to make sure it actually returns to 0. Which means, see, like, if this doesn't get reset to 0, it holds it at that last number. But what if we can get that last number to be 0? Well, you can switch between videos and you can switch between chops. So right now, let's change the order of these so that this one is going, so it always counts from 0 up. So when this switches at 0, it's at the first input. So here we have a constant that is just constantly giving this 0. Here's the number we actually want to pass through, but it's with our so let's take this logic, being a 0 or 1, and let's see what happens when we have that control this index. Okay, so now when we're talking, it's doing its thing. Oh, we're back to 0 every time. Easy as that. Okay, so you know, the true South Park animation, I don't think there's any like this smooth rabbit, just like jump around, which we could, if you really want to improve it, be true to the original art form. We could use more of these holds to kind of hold different animations in place. It's doable. We're not doing that today though. It's more important that we put shades on this thing and tilt the head. Let's tilt the head. We're done with that trail. Let's use this logic for some more things. I'm going to turn up the lower bound a little bit because I think anytime I actually speak. It's, I changed it to 50. Are we still? Let's try 30. 30. This is 30. Not picking up everything. Okay. 15. 15. Come on, give me a 15. 12. Okay. What I want is to be able to pick up the difference in between my syllables. And why do I want to do that? Well, I want to count them. I want to count every single one of them. I want to count them, but only to a certain number. So we can go to the count section, and here's another limit. And let's just run through this like a list of 3. And let's create 3 constants. Oh, I effed it up. 0, 0, 1, 2. Better get used to it. Alright, so here are... I should be naming these now. You've already developed all of my bad habits. Count 1. What are we counting? We're counting head bobs. And so what's a constant? It's just whatever you tell it to be. So let's do -30, 0, and 30. This is almost easy. Okay, sometimes with the counts, sometimes you need to pulse them. But why isn't this looping? Oh, loop min clamp max. No, we just want loop min max. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. And notice I didn't connect any of these. We're just picking some numbers. So we can color those gray, boring numbers. They're still going to look mostly green. This is a control parameter. Let's make a switch. And we're going to run all of these in here. And we're going to take head bobs, and we're going to have that control the index of the switch. -30, 0, 30. Bup, 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 bup. Maybe it should go to 0 in between all of these. So let's just copy that one and put it in here. And now we need to actually count from 0 to 3. 0. And -30, 0, 30, 0, -30, 0. Bup, 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 bup. Now we're just going to go in order, but you know, this is a good place to start. Let's take a null, which is going to be us rotating this thing, and tie it on and see what happens. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, so, maybe we need to change this pivot point so it's, yeah, I don't know. That's not helping us. We need it to tip that way. Okay, so we can kind of... Okay, I mean, that's whatever. That's what it does. Gabby! Come on up here. Okay, so now we've got another returning to 0 problem. Hey, baby. You killer. So let's just take this, and I don't remember exactly how it works, but we got a switch and a constant for 0. Let's put it up here. Let's plug this in. Oh. When you copy and paste a bunch of stuff and you put it down and you plug one wire into one thing, it plugs every wire into everything. Yeah, it does. Okay, dokey. Okay, dokey. Alright, you see what I did there? Kind of lost my talking groove when this cute cat jumped on my lap. Yeah. Okay, well, we're returning to 0 now, but what happened to our start position? Oh, is that this? Okay. Sorry about that, folks. But now, I mean, woo! La da dee da 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 dee doo. We're getting somewhere. We la ba dee ba da down, da ba dee ba da down, da ba beep ba 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 ba. All right. So the problem is like when it tips forward like that, we're clipping the nanner. Everybody knows nanners aren't supposed to clip. So let's see here. What's the bad number? Bad number is the bad number the bad numbers, not positive 30. So yeah, we're gonna cheese this. We're gonna use another logic because everyone's like, how do I solve this problem? Oh, it's probably with logic. And I am not a computer programmer. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, so we got a logic number 2 now. And we're just going to call this Bob fix. How do we fix a Bob? Well, we look at whether it's off unless the number is within 30 and 30. Okay. And when that is true, let us just shoot this one up a little bit. Let's shoot it up by 30. Boom. Okay. Now you see here, we've typed in the number negative 130 here to line it up. We're going to break that right now. Oh, now we went 30 up. But we can do our math in here as well, and this is some math I can handle. Negative 130 plus this reference. Oh, but sometimes it's broken. You know what? You know what? Well, it's because sometimes when this switch is at 30 and this logic is at 30. Now this number sits at 30. But maybe we need to ease that down when the trigger's not on. So once again, we got the constant and a switch. And this needs to come in before this math, because that's our output. So we're going to have the bob fix go. We'll use this leg for now, and then disconnect that. Alright, so now when we get at 30, and it's gonna help us because it's pushing up in the right direction. And I want a bigger number than 30. But it's gonna come back. It's always gonna come back. It's cool. I'm literally kind of figuring this out as we go. The tutorial version is going to be better than the prototype, maybe. So where were we getting that 30 number? I already forgot. Oh yeah. Well, 30 is the rotation, and then I just picked a math somewhere that was. Oh yeah. Let's do 60 here, because this is the height that we're going to jump, so it doesn't clip the banana. Do not clip the banana. So that's all good. Okay, so now when I talk, it's going to keep going up and down. I mean, there's some twitching that happens that you can't really. Maybe this lag will help. So okay, yeah, let's just do the defaults. It looks a little bit better. Okay, so I mean, look at this. Look at all this sea of green. We got way more audio stuff going on than video stuff. But now we kind of have the essentials of this stupid puppet. But we could take a break. Let's take a break. You want to go outside, Kathy? What's that? You just want to sit on my lap forever. Yeah, you're not allowed up here. Let's go. Let's finish this while I'm still wearing the same shirt. What do we got? This banana's kind of doing the thing. We can tweak how that moves more later. I think what's most important is that we add sunglasses and eyeballs. So here's where our moving and shaking happens. So if we're going to have eyes tethered to this thing, oh, and look, we got that little bit of jumping happening here sometimes. We're probably going to do more of that, but we basically need to go back to the start. And let's see here. I am really proud of how much I have not been referencing the original project I did. Go me. Oh. Motivation. Got that let's be done motivation. Alright, I'm going to pull in one asset that is not stock Touch Designer. Let's grab this very important movie file in. Not that one. We don't need that going out. We want... Let's see here. I'll go in my downloads folder. Nothing to hide, but... I just pulled this off a non-Google search, png.png, and we need to smash that on top of this. I can tell right off the bat that it is too darn big. What do? We transform it, and let's scale it down. It looks more banana size. What do we need? We're grabbing a composite. And we'll put these together. Oh, that looks broken. Because we just need one to be over the other. And I can see that this is stretched, probably because of the aspect ratio. We're not going to match that right now. We're going to exaggerate it. And move it where it needs to be. Let's put this in the chain now. Oh! That looks even better than my last one. Okay, that's all good and all, but maybe what we really need is eyes on this thing before the sunglasses. The sunglasses go over the eyes. And look how cluttered this is getting. This is kind of ridiculous. Do I continue to make a mess and push forward, or do we start to make components to contain these things? In this case, yeah, let's just grab a base and let's give it an in. Let's put our banana in there and begin to work. I guess we can put it, we know we're going to want to run this in and run this out. We got our top half of a banana. What do eyes look like? Oh God. They look like circles. Alright, so I'm going to scale this down to around 0.1. And let's add another composite and get this lined up. Now these composites usually will take the second input as their how it like bases the resolution off of. But under the transform layer, you can pick the right one. And as usual, we're just gonna have this over that. Over. And oh, look at that. We are way too big. And this thing looks just pixelated as a mofo. So I'm just going to up the resolution of that a little bit. I don't know why that aspect ratio is so jacked, but I guess we could make it match, see if that solves the problem, or we could just scale it by hand. Okay, that looks better. Still, let's shrink this down. And okay, so we we have this circle. It is stuck in the middle. We can use the center to transform it a little bit. And I don't know if we want to have the eyes independent of each other, but for now, I think we can just kind of get them to generally be doing the same thing until we want to sneak like a wink in there or something. Let's just make another one and composite these together. We'll call this eye left. Yeah, we are, Kathy. Oh. And I'm naming this because oh, yeah. I'm sure there's a reason that multiply is your average y multiply is your average blending mode. So let's have these eyes match no matter what we're doing. This is another teachable moment. So we got eye right. Let's right click on radius, copy parameter, go to eye left, paste reference on the same thing. Oh, what did that do? I didn't see anything change. That's because if one thing changes, the other one will. Whoa, 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 blowing your mind. So now that's an easy thing to control. But do we want to have to dive in here every time we want to control the eye radius? We're going deep, folks. We're past the point of a sane YouTube length. Let's go back to our project. Let's name our base eyes, because that's what it is. Let's customize this base. You can right click on any of these, click Customize Component, and bring up a brand new menu. And while this seems super confusing, it will become obvious. Let's right click on eyes again and click on parameters. And that will open a floating menu. And all you've got is every base has these things. And you won't have to touch them for much, because I don't have to touch them for anything. But we're going to leave this open so that you can see building a custom container in action. What do we want to control without having to go into this base? I say this radius, so you can grab that, bring it over into this parameter section, and bind parameter as master. Okay. And look, now we've got this custom tab here. Well, that's a new. So one of these is for making new pages. Nope. And one of them is for new tabs. Add page. Eyes adjust. Let's just do what we did before. Bind. We'll replace the blind. We're going to get rid of that custom one, because now we're making our very own eyes adjust page. And you know what? I'm not sure if we're going to need any of this, but we can just start grabbing things that that we could use. Yes. Okay, so let's make these one at a time. We'll give optional controls for each eye. So I plop this in here, and it's gonna just call it center, but we can give the label we'll call it RI position. And then we'll grab the left eye and drop that in there and call that LI position. Oh, but left comes before right, so let's just move that up. And now we have top level control of the scale of the eyes and individual, whether we want to adjust that by hand or do some mapping to these things from our audio reactive stuff. We can do that without having to jump back in here. It's worth the time. All right, and what if we wanted to make irises? Is iris the word? Pupils? My high school education only got me so far. So I'm going to take eye right and close this for now. I'm just going to move that off screen. Let's make this black. And let's keep doing expression stuff. Foot is off the brakes. Let's copy our eye right radius, and let's just, for now, paste this as a reference here. Okay, that didn't change anything. Well, not until we divide it by 2. And if we put this in the comp and raise it up, oh, look at that. We got a black dot in a white circle. I'm gonna put another transform in here before I forget. And I'm gonna call this blink. Let's see. We're gonna do that to blink later. Okay, so now okay, do we want to give... Iris is like the colored part, right? We are going to kick my prototype's ass. Let's call this... Iris right. And let's give this a nice banana green. Let's plug that in here, and we'll put the iris under the pupil. Oh, well, that's not showing up. Why is that? Oh, because it needs to be somewhere in between the 2 other circles going on here. We're doing it. All right. So there's the right eye. Now we've got our left eye. all we need is actually, no.
Vocally, she's got a lot going on, which is cool. Good for her. She's very
Let's not redo any of this work unnecessarily.
fun.
Now its references are to I right. Let's do IL. IL. And okay, I grabbed the wrong one. We need that one. Okay, so now we put our pupils on top. Oops. Put our irises in the middle. Oh, well, why isn't that showing up? Okay, we're still using the position of the other ones. Look at that shit. Okay. Now we have eyes. And we got a banana. Of course we got... Newsflash, we got a banana. No, let's... do this. Oh. Well, our eyes aren't really on those shades. So let's just move both of these up. $10 and $10. Okay, well, should we move the shades over? They looked pretty cool where they were at. Oh yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's leave the shades where they're at. And have this right eye be disproportionately off base. And we'll smooth it up just a little bit more for a cartoonish effect. Alright. Now we've got eyes, but you can't see them because we're wearing shades. But what if we want these shades to fall off and rattle around? Well, let's just see. Let's see. Let's go by pixels here. And whoop, 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 whoop. Alright, so there's all kinds of feels you could go for here. And let's just go for a messy one. With our one audio signal, what should we do here? We got, we've already built all this stuff, like we got the head bobs. You know, what if we wanted to build off of this switch of this value here? You can, without connecting anything, you could choose a select. And all of these families have a select, I think, for the most part. And you can drag this as the chop. And now we've got that. And you see this little ghost connection, but okay, so let's I'm just going to duplicate this a couple times, and because we're thinking about what to do with the X and the Y, and I think this is another one of those return to zero things, so let's just grab a constant and a switch again. This is the fact that I've done this 3 times means maybe I should have a drag and drop operator for it. But okay, so now we got these values and they very quickly go back to 0. So we'll have to tweak this. We'll have to learn a little bit more about this before we're really making anything. But let's just throw this translate on here and just see. Okay, now if they're okay, you can see them shifting a little bit, so that's cool. But maybe let's do both of these. Take those. I don't even remember what that was connected to, but okay, we'll call this. This is the glass X. This is the glass Y. And now, okay, so we'll have, it's just going to be very jerky because this is just either going on or off. So how helpful is that? And the answer is not very. But what if we introduce some new operators? Let's just try lagging. Let's just try lagging these values a little bit, and let's just grab this logic with a select chop. Let's rethink this a little bit. So we do want this to switch to 0, but let's think about that. I mean, it's like really bam, 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 bam. Most of the time, it's not going to really let this glasses animation through. So what if... Okay, now we got a filter, and I don't know if I can really see that. What is that doing? We'll grab our trail again, and now, okay, so the filter is at certain points, it's letting it up, and then but the filter's so wide that what if we turn it down a little bit, and then, okay, now we're seeing more sharp spikes. And then I'm trying to keep it on, and I don't do. So now if we use this filter as our switcher, okay, so now it still wants to be. See, now it's not even opening up at all because it actually wants to be off until it hits the number 1, and then, unless I go, oh! Sorry, I gotta hit that ceiling for it to even hit 1. Which maybe that's what you want. It's just like air horn mode, you know. But then not every time is it gonna go in the direction you want. So what happens if we flip this? Instead of going 0 to 1, we go Q, no, 1, 2, 0. Okay. Now we're just on. But what if we flip the inputs here? I said, what if we flip the inputs here? Okay, this is kind of even better. But it just holds it. It's like, okay, I mean, that's good. Okay, so I deleted that math. Oh yeah, okay, so I switched that and let's turn this leg way down, see if we can't use it but not lose it. See, the problem is they switch so fast, so I'm gonna copy this parameter, paste it to this lag so I'm not jumping back and forth, and we're gonna go way down, barely using this thing, right? Okay, so what's the delay here? Oh, it's this filter, that's right. That's the other component. Filter width. Let's have this be a third of a second. And now, okay, now we can jump around and it's going to be a little bit more. And we got these switches that are activating the pixel. And it's sorting. It's pixel sorting. This is pixel sorting, folks. It's switching through those same numbers that we used before. But what happens if we add a spring? And this is kind of like a I mean, okay, that's something that's still. Maybe we don't need so much left and right. And so we'll make the left and right a little less springy. In its own way. Dampening that kind of makes it less boing 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 boing. Alright. And let's make the up and down a little more ridiculous. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Whoa, we don't want to throw them down though. Why is that happening? Oh yeah, because okay, now those negative values are throwing it down. So let's change those right here with another math. This is math number 8 for us. Let's change it to the range of what is happening here. It is going from negative 30 to 30. Now we're going from 0 to 1. That's not so much fun. Let's go from 0 to 60. Woo! Now we're moving in the positive direction, but our spring no, our spring is maybe too spring, or our math is too mathy. Let's bring this back down. Woo! 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 And we get get them to hover just a little bit more. La! And okay, so now this constant is like, okay, it's 0 and it always, that's why this is still so jerky. But you can't just put a lag in there because you're going from 0 to 0. That is changing. There's nothing to lag there. So what if our logic here is from the very beginning of this tutorial, but what if we make this constant a 1 when that is on, and then we lag that down to 0? Oh! Did we just fix it with it? Not really, but now this doesn't switch until well, I guess anything less than 1 is gonna be, the way this sees it is like all the decimal points between 0 and 1 are basically getting rounded down to 0. So it's only when this is at 1 fully does it it goes back to 0. And now we've got the 0. It's it's coming back. It's not just jumping right back down, but we're done when this is done. Hopefully before. Let's see here. Doing some on the fly creative problem solving. Let's see. So this filter is our filter is the thing that, okay, I got it.
That's good.
So we just overshoot this, because all this filter is doing is controlling these switchers, whether they're on or off. So, math number 99.
Oh, it was an E minor.
Let's just multiply this by 1.5. And now you'll see the index isn't instantly at 0. Well, it kind of is, isn't it? You can always click on this and see. So it's this filter. Filter 2 is doing the switching on both of these. So maybe we want to lag this value down too. And let's just multiply this by 2. So it'll be nice and exaggerated, but okay. Now it's starting to hold for a little bit more. Not a whole lot more, but you can see that when I'm talking, we're getting that, we're not seeing the exact value, but we can tell right here is where it's going. So maybe we don't want to lag hardly at all on the way up. So now it's going to jump right up and float down. Yeah. Okay, so now let's, where's our eyes. So what's going to make our eyes blink?
Probably this 4 times.
It shouldn't be all the time. I mean, I don't blink all the time. So let's just count our on-offs and make it blink every 7 or 8 syllables. So once again, let's take our select. This is referencing just this very first logic. And what do we want to do with it? Oh yeah, we want to count it. And let's, I think with this re-trigger delay, we can make sure that it doesn't update too many times. It go, you know, like that's, it can count up pretty fast. So we can make sure that it's only counting up every 0.2 seconds in this case. Brap. So when I'm talking to you, you'll see it blink every once in a while. Most of the time, no, you won't. Eyes. Well, we don't have to dive in there because we've got this thing made. But why did I say we wanted to loop? 0 to 7 equals 8, so let's see here. Loop, I did it again. Loop min max. So now you'll see this going around. What do we do with that? Not 8 blinks, but we'll use a logic and make it blink only when a certain thing happens. And right now it's between 0 and 1, we get a blink. And let's just make it between 7 and 7. So and even though blinks are pretty much instant, let's see if we can just get squeeze a little bit of animation out of it. And then we just have to go to, I'm assuming it's the Y parameter of the radius of our original circle, and if I did this right, it will shrink everything. No promises. All right, let's talk. Let's test it out. Okay, no. I did this wrong. Okay, did you see what I did there? Oh, I got a great solution for this. I got a great solution for this. All right, so where's our eyes? Where's our giant eyes? All right, see how it says op lag 10 euro 8. No, that's not what we need. What we need is this number times this. Watch and learn, watch and learn. I'm gonna cut that, and I'm gonna have this reference this, and I'm only doing this so I don't have to type this out. So we got me dot parameter dot radius
No, I don't.
to x.
I mean, I've been writing some lyrics.
And then I'm gonna go
Just little blocks.
times what was already there. And how did that work out? Okay, well now I think I saw a blink or two, but it's kind of slow. Pretty hidden, and
couple practices ago.
I would say we need a 0 here.
Alright.
So every once in a while it will blink, and maybe we need these glasses bouncing around a little bit more than I do.
Well, I got one for both of us.
Meow!
I can play
Can you hear that?
guitar, just play through.
I'm not just meowing to myself. These glasses are not leaving the head.
Just play through one of the amps.
Maybe they should. maybe we need them to just fly off a little bit more exaggerated. And then, or that whole return to zero could be way slower. Like this leg. I don't want to type this in again, so we're just going to make both legs the same. And bow, bow. Wait, which one is the switch leg? This is why you name your legs. This is why you name your mouths. This is why you name your legs. What if we had a whole second added to what was there? Okay, it's broken logic here, but why is this snapping? It's because we're still, let's just crank this multiplier. Now we got a little bit of time where it's just like going to play after the fact. And then still snap back. That's better, because then if I keep talking in those glasses, they're gonna take a little bit of time to swing around. Now they are also switching from like multiple I'm always thinking like 30 steps ahead, and I usually don't always get 30 steps ahead. Or I get 30 steps ahead and forgot the very important next step on the actual path we're on. Forgive me. We're getting there. God, I did like it when they just kind of hung low. I need an option for that. I mean, you can make like a keyboard shortcut or something, but where's my blink lag? It's too small now. Oops. You'll blink fast, open our eyes a little bit slower so we actually see that part of the animation. Wait. That seemed like the opposite. The opposite happened, and I just need to... Let's just get rid of these for now. Okay, blink, 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 blink. Let's... I had a re-triggered delay. Let's just make sure it's not super slow. Or super fast. Now we can count up and 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 count up. Blink, blink, blink. That's still so slow. And maybe we don't actually want to go to 0. We want to go to 0.1 with the blinky eyes. Okay, that's kind of funny. I mean, maybe... Alright, that's great. Whatever. That is perfect. Those are shades. Okay, so... I mean... We could, with a lot of effort, like a whole nother session like this, we could make the eyes dynamic to more responsive to like the frequency curve and the overall amplitude. Because right now we've got like mushroomed out excitement and and whatever that other thing is. It's another good look, but like nothing in between. So maybe if we ever get to some advanced lessons, we can, do some more finesse. But this is real-time building. I prototyped this. I prototyped this right before I started recording this, and it's like this other one's got its own look and its own complications. And it's like a little more snappy. I kind of like how it worked, but there was the whole entire left-right movement of the, of how it was going. It was in two different transforms, and I had my logic to dictate these different ways had to do with, there was a logic for each one, and so there's kind of this push-pull. And at first, like this is like a little bit more cartoony, and I like how it works, but for showing you audio reactive visuals from scratch, it's like the fact that I introduced you to logic is bold on both of our parts, I might say. And if you hopefully kind of understand how that works, but like the logic terms are very simple. It's like this node is never going to give you anything other than a 0 or a 1, depending on if the logic is true or not. And that's how computers work, or that's how they, that's the origins of computers. And if you boil it down to the very, 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 like the blood flow of computers, it's still a lot of this. And without being a programmer, I can kind of understand it for the first time because I can see it with my eyes. You've got these rudimentary options of like how it functions, and just being able to control and be like, well, I'm counting and I don't want it to do anything until it hits the number 4, so it's off. And when it's on, well, then you got to figure out what to do with that information. But then that can be really overwhelming. But if you kind of have the design, I've got this banana and it's split in half, and I'm going to put sunglasses on it. To like get all those elements in place and kind of play around with them, so you kind of know where the breaking point is. And then you go back to your logic, the conditions of which, whether this stuff works or not. Like filling in the gaps in between is not as hard. That's what I found. And I'm smart in some ways, and I'm not smart in other ways. So I would be super interested to know tricks that like I haven't learned yet, and also things that were like still confusing that I just blazed through because I was dead set on finding an end to this video at some point. I would not call this done, but really what I wanted to move more than a circle with you today, and I think we did that. Whenever I'm following a tutorial, I'm usually taking it in my own direction midstream, where I was like, I can already see the technique that I want to implement in the world I exist in, because I appreciate a lot of art, but I appreciate about myself that I'm not very concerned with making every single thing I do art. I get equal enjoyment from making this banana with the springy sunglasses as I would painting somebody's face realistically. And even then, you need good composition. You need to understand lighting, and you need a steady hand. It's like, I appreciate all those things. It still doesn't make good to me. And I can walk by it like anything, I know a lot of you VJs out there, the software can do kaleidoscopes and 3D tunnels. I'm probably not the best person to teach you that, but even then, I hope you understand how, like, what did we do today? We took my voice, one single audio signal, And how many different ways did we manipulate it? How many different ways did we make a banana head jump around? And that's just the start. We could keep reprocessing this audio signal and have it move, there's no background to this. It's just transparent nothing. We didn't even get there. But we could just take the one audio source and hell, I'll prove it to you. I showed you the palette earlier. Let's pull out my speed cruise control. Well, this is like, what is going on here? Red X means something's broken. Well, yeah, it's because it doesn't have my audio. Oh, now that's not really doing much. Maybe it's because the signal is so freaking small. If I start cranking up that, now we got this thing. And what happens when we put this in the background of everything, which is what, that's an over? Let's see if we can just put this under all the stuff in the over here. Under in the over. I guess we gotta scale it up. All right. This is still just my voice and a thing I made earlier, and then I just plugged it into this thing. And now we've got even another dynamic element. And I didn't do anything except for amplify the signal going into this other thing. But that right there is spider webbing out into this texture we see in the background, which is made completely with audio and noise. I showed you the noise earlier. This is a cooler thing I've done with the noise than the 3 pixel tall gobbledygook. So yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna take some time to figure out what people want to learn next and try to find something kind of short and snappy, because now that this video exists, I can reference it and make people watch it if they want to learn certain stuff. And I'm gonna assume, unless it's like something's confusing and you're like, no, you should spend a whole video just on this thing. Well, I mean, yeah, I can hone in on stuff so that this is broken down even more, but this is your overview with a lot of practical knowledge on my part, things I've learned early on and recently, and hopefully you got a good feel for Touch Designer. Man, we got to work on these glasses. It's not right. Till next time.